information there. Okay, we're good. Okay, so no worries, mate. See ya. Good night.
And welcome to Brisbane, Gary, the Moreton Bay Central Sports Complex. It's NEFL Round 2, the Brisbane Lions versus the Sydney Swans in a grand final replay. We're streaming live on NEFL TV with our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Michael Price and Jess Webster with you, calling all the action. Jess, looking forward to a great game. Both sides went down in really close circumstances in round 1, so they'll both be looking for some redemption this week.
Absolutely. I think you're going to see a really good contest here today. Obviously, it's a grand final rematch, as we know, but I think most importantly, both these sides came off losses in round 1 by 1 point and 4 points, respectively. Of course, the Lions went down to Thunder and the Sydney Swans went down to the Giants. So I think you'll see two teams out there today looking to make amends. Yeah, especially the Brisbane Lions need to tighten up their defence and a bit of discipline after last week. They conceded 105 points to the NT Thunder, and most disappointingly, 90 of those points resulted directly from turnovers. So they need to tighten up that defensive effort. Absolutely. They won the hit-outs, won the clearances, won the inside 50s, but still lost the ball game by a point. So talk about a pretty disappointing defeat. And they'll, like I said, looking to rectify that today. For Sydney, it was much the same story. They had more scoring shots than the Giants, but were inaccurate. And, of course, it cost them the game. So, you know, I think both coaches will want to see an improved effort today. We've got 17 listed players for the Brisbane Lions coming up against 14 listed players. Dan Robertson was the late out for the Swans, and coming in is Tom Meacham. So we'll see some young talent as well out here today. Of course, the Under-18 Academy Series kicks off this weekend, so a lot of the top Under-18 and Under-19 talent aren't playing today, but it's the next generation, the next tier of academy players out there looking to make their mark. So should be an exciting game for those youngsters. So 27 degrees it is here in Brisbane, Gary. We've had a little bit of drizzle, but the field looks absolutely pristine. Had a bit of a walk across it while the players were doing their warm-ups, and basically you could eat your dinner off it, Jess. Absolutely brilliantly put together, and you can see the players just moving out into their positions nice and relaxed, and I dare say that relaxed nature of what's going on right now will change within the next few seconds as soon as the opening bounce happens. What's your prediction, Jess, for the game? Look, I'm going to stick with the home side with Brisbane. I think they've got a lot more balance across the park. They should get the job done. Yeah, I think I'll stick with the Brisbane Lions, and I think they'll go down by 10 points. Here's Jess Webster with the opening bounce. It's a grand final rematch here on NEFL TV. It was Darcy Cameron and Oscar McInerney, two captains for today, up in the ruck. The ball is going nowhere, and we'll have a secondary bounce. So give the one to McInerney, who just fists it forward in the direction of Tom Bell. He handballs to Paparo, making his comeback from injury, but he couldn't quite gather it. Out the back there is Ronke for the Swans, and he's away. Down the wing, kick up towards half forward, but it's out of bounds. Out on the full, or was it bounced? No, I think it was called deliberate in the end, so it'll be free kick to the Brisbane Lions on the half-back flank. A little bit stiff there, just kicking for space, and Matthew Eagles, the fellow who I reckon was a little unlucky not to be best on ground in last year's grand final victory for the Brisbane Lions. Of course, Ben Keys won the medal, well worthy. Comes out to Cedric Cox. He's sitting 30 metres from his own goal. He's got a mover out here in Liam Dawson. The kick wasn't as great as it could be, but went through the legs of Rose. Dawson picks it up, wheels around onto the left, puts it at the feet of McInerney. The big man picks it up nicely. Handball to Lester. Lester controls it nicely, and Jack Frost inside his defensive 50 with Tommy McCartan standing the mark. So very steady for the Lions, just looking to maintain possession. Taking it out to the outer side. The man we were speaking about who won the medal for last year's best on ground in the grand final, Ben Keys, kicks it long to Clay Beams. He takes the mark on centre wing, outer side. So Beams marks in front of O'Riordan. Beams looking to find an option. He's got Lester in space. It's a very well weighted kick, and Lester's off. Kicks inside forward 50 into the Tom Bell direction. One-on-one contest. Ball goes around. Out the back, Archie Smith picked up the crumbs and kicks the first goal of the game. Well, there's an unusual role for Archie Smith, one of the leading ruckmen in the competition. He's just roving the crumbs there, doing it beautifully. Hit the ball at full pace in the goal square and just dribbled it through. The Lions doing it quite well, and again, maintaining possession all across the field there, Jess. I think it'll be an important partnership between Archie Smith and Oscar McInerney today out there. Of course, they should stretch the Sydney tall stocks, if you like. You've got McInerney, Smith, Eagles, Frost you can throw in there as well. hopefully for the Lions' sake, they can use that to their advantage.
Well, they do have the captain of today, the Sydney Swans, is Darcy Cameron, WA player, 204 centimetres and 100k. So if they can actually get the most out of him, it might go a little way to combating McInerney. But he got up very high, got the tap down. Would be a free kick, though, to Corey Lyons, who's being held. Just gets the ball back to him now. He's got a man out here by himself in Brandon Starcevic. Takes it around his ankles, did well. He's got a runner in Cox. Just looking to make sure he maximises his options. Kicks long, inside 50. Archie Smith at the front, slapped it down. Pack of players now. It's being held in there by Stoddart as well. Number 54 for Sydney's Dylan Smith. They hold it in there. It's 35 metres out from the Brisbane Lions goal. They're leading by a straight goal. Smith again, well done by Cameron. Got the ball to ground. Stoddart picks it up, shoots out a handball, puts his teammate under pressure, but they should get out of here, the Swans. Scrivenich, he can't quite get rid of it. Clay Beams, now Cedric Cox, inside 50. A long bomb to the goal square. Advantage there to Sydney. They've got the numbers and they should be able to get out through Robbie Fox.
His short kick is smothered off the boot by Ballenden. Handball over the top to Bell, who goes backwards to Lyons and handballs outside 50 to, it was Keneally for the Lions, but his kick ineffective. Ball on the deck, picked up by Lyons again, goes backwards to Eagles. What can he do with it? His kick along the ground. Handball now out in the space of Cox. He can kick it inside forward 50. On the lead was Paparone, and he gets a free kick for pushing the back, and he'll take a set shot 45 metres out in a slight angle.
Yeah, just coming back from injury, as you said, Jess, Marco Paparone, the East Fremantle product. 55 AFL games. He probably copped one in the back end, a bit of a chop of the arms there as well. So a player of his stature should find this one reasonably easy with the lack of wind and the conditions.
His popular clubman is Paparone, and plenty of Lions fans out there will be glad to see him back out on the park with his first kick of the day. Just crosses 50 metres. Has it got the accuracy? It doesn't. Just fades away to the left for a minor score. Lions 1-1-7 leads the Swans yet to score, and we've played 4 minutes in the opening term.
So the Swans to bring the ball back in. Lions set up nicely. Every player on the ground forward of the centre circle here. Clay Beams at the back, fists it forward. Swans with the numbers. It's Rose. He's tackled, loses the ball. Stuck at centre half forward there. And is it Stoddart who's buried into the ground? No, it's actually James Bell at the true centre half forward position for Brisbane. The Sydney player was tackled into the ground. Darcy Cameron versus McInerney. McInerney won it from behind. There's Bell again, trying to get through the traffic, toes it forward. Sydney just propelling it forward any way they can. Stoddart dragged it back in and then slapped it out. Again, several bodies are in. The umpire will have a close look at this one and ball it up. Just inside the centre square, just forward of the centre circles to the end that the Lions are kicking. That's your northern end, your left of screen here.
Good pressure early by the Lions, just locking inside the forward half of the ground as you see Paparone trying to burst his way through the pack. He's wrapped up by Darcy Cameron, I think, laying on top of him, causing a ball up just inside the centre square. So Cameron and McInerney in the ruck. Give that one to McInerney. Starcevic on ground level. Here's Cox now. Handballs to Beams, but he's wrapped up immediately. Cox again goes in for a second effort. Handballs out. Misdirected handball. Out the back now is Bastanak for the Lions, and he's wrapped up immediately by Rose. Is that a free kick? Yes, it is. Rose will take the ball true centre circle for the Swans.
A long kick inside forward 50. Advantages the Sydney player there. Just got to the fall of the ball, did is it Joel Amati. It just dropped in and around his knees, but he had the front position, so with that dead weight kick just sort of advantaged him. The defender couldn't get anywhere near it. He's going to have a shot from directly in front, about 30 metres. 2 goals last week. Good size too, 196 centimetres. Let's go. Goal umpire doesn't move. Sydney on the board. So it's the Lions 1-1-7 to the Sydney Swans 1 straight 6 here on NEFL TV. NEFL proudly supported by Elastoplast.
And Amity for the Swans, it was picked up by Sandringham as a great utility type, and like you mentioned, Pricey, he's a good size, quite athletic, plays mostly as a forward but can pinch hit in the ruck, and as we're seeing is moving to the centre circle as we speak to give Darcy Cameron a bit of a chop out. So lots of potential does this young 18-year-old.
Well, they've got the ruck stocks kind of depleted the entire Sydney Swans organisation, especially in the seniors as well. So it's filtering down into their NEFL stocks, but they're looking okay with Darcy Cameron and with Amati as they go up in the middle. Ball spills, it's just towed up in the air. It's a bit of a sky ball. Punch down, going in hard was Bastanak. He loses sight of the ball. Stuck under many bodies and will get it balled up. No, the umpire just let it go. Fair enough. Cedric Cox comes out, kicks it to right half forward. Good contest there. It was Meacham, who was a late inclusion, getting into the back of his opponent. Ball goes towards the boundary line. And we'll get another throw in. Archie Smith goes over and congratulates his teammate for putting the pressure on there. There's Daniel Fleming. So it's 30 metres from the Brisbane Lions goal. Right forward pocket, just in front of the scoreboard. You can see the Lions leading by a point.
So the umpire will toss this one back in. It'll be Smith and Amati to contest the ruck. Inside the Lions, forward 50. Smith had front spot, passed it down to Bell. He couldn't gather it, but the umpires picked out a free kick for holding, I believe, and it will go to Bell. Tough angle though. He's 50 metres out, right on the boundary. Will you back him, Pricey, or do you think he'll look to pass off?
He'll have a crack. He's got the distance. It's always a matter of accuracy with Tom Bell.
He was absolutely on fire last week. 36 disposals, 6 clearances, 9 inside 50s and 2 goals as the Lions lost by a point to NT Thunder in a thriller. As Bell on the approach, hits 50 metres. He's got the distance, but it fades late and the ball trickles over for a minor score. So Lions 1-2-8 leads the Swans 1-0-6, 8 minutes into the first term.
So Sydney to bring the ball back in. Harry Marsh plays it to himself, puts himself under pressure, but has the class just to get out of that and stab his teammate Jake Brown in the chest with the ball. Brown brings it to right half back. It's with Cordell. Kicks it to McCartan. That's a nice mark. The younger brother of Paddy McCartan, who's copping a lot of criticism with St Kilda. But Tom kicks it into the man on the mark in Dawson. Sydney have the numbers, but Brisbane defensively more adventurous there. Bastanak used the body to shield the ball. Could have won a free kick. Nothing happening. Dawson hooks it around the body. Well done there by Dent, it was. Couldn't quite pick it up. Cedric Cox beelines it. Puts it in front of himself. Nice handball over the top. Ends up with Stoddart. Stoddart back inside on the left foot. It's a floater inside 50. Pack of players. Archie Smith gets a fist to it. Well done. And Ben Keys runs away. Kicks it to right half back.
Dropped the mark with Lions. Wasn't a great kick to begin with. He handballs to Clay Beams under pressure. Was it a throw? Yes, it was. So it'll be the Swans to take the free kick through Robbie Fox. He's about 70 metres out from goal. Lions have got numbers back. So they should win out if he pops it up. And he doesn't. Smart option, but the umpire's called play on. Kick inside forward 50 to the pocket. Pack of players forms. Amati to the front. Causes a contest. Ball there to be won at ground level. Cox is in there first. And now the quick kick out from Allison. Hits Lions. Handballs off to Dawson. Outside forward 50. Mark is dropped. And at the back, the Swans can win it. Centre it to forward 50. No mark taken. Ball on ground level. Pack of players forms. And they should wrap this one up for a ball up.
Yeah, just no talk there between Oscar McInerney and Ben Sloan. They had the ball covered there. They had the numbers, but both conspired to muck each other up as Archie Smith goes up for Brisbane. It's with Rose, tries to hook it around. Bell breaks through the middle, gets the handball away. Dent turns it over. Just tight in the clinches at right half back for the Lions as Amati tries to get the ball away. Archie Smith gives it back to Keys. He toes it forward, but just in the path of the Sydney players. Nicely kicked inside 50. There's James Rose. No, it's not. I'm terribly sorry. It's Jake Brown. Look very similar. He and Rose both wearing the white boots as well. And he's going to have a crack at the goals from around about 45 metres directly in front.
Jake Brown is a great story for the Sydney Swans Academy. He missed out on his 18th draft year, but came back through the NEFL Under-19 Academy. Was the first player from the Under-19 Academy to be drafted.
Let's go from just on the 50-metre line. It's a good-looking kick, just fading right and one behind result. So back to a one-point ball game. The Lions 1-2-8, Sydney 1-1-7. As Jack Frost brings the ball back in for the Brisbane Lions.
So it's a tight contest so far here at the Moreton Bay Sports Complex as Frost brings it back in, kicks it outside 50. Ballenden will take a fly and he marks. Great mark there by the young 18-year-old Lions Academy product. He kicks long down the wind. He's got Eagles and Smith. But Amity does well to force a contest at ground level. Here is Styles. He can pick it up for the Swans. He's got the short option in Rose, but his kick ill-directed. Sloan can't mark. Ball still to be won. Amity again. Handballs off to Rose. Goes inboard. Short kick now. Again, it's misdirected. Paparone can't gather it. Smith at the front, tackled by Amity. And he'll... Right, no. Ball is just spilled out. Umpire letting it go. That's Keneally, I think, at the back. Oh, my, sorry, it was Johnson for the Lions. Just got absolutely collected.
Just going to remove Billy Johnson's head from the Moreton Bay turf there. Just got buried, didn't he? It was a great tackle. Marty and Smith clash, and the umpire's called a hold. It'll go to Archie Smith against Marty. So just in front of the Sydney Swans bench, Archie Smith kicks long, inside 50. Right in front. How just a little bit too easy, that one. It dropped in front, and the Sydney Swans defence could not do a thing as Jack Tompkinson took the mark.
And you just saw Tom Bell there. Just give him a bit of advice to slow down, take his kick back himself. Good leadership there shown by Bell. Let's see what Tompkinson can produce.
Well, he's on a tightish angle, 45-degree angle. He'll probably let go from just on the 50-metre arc. We're right behind it here on NEFL TV. Does so. Starts it right. It just... didn't curl back. It basically kept its line. So through for another behind. 1-3-9 to the Lions to 1-1-7 to the Sydney Swans as the Swans bring the ball back in.
This will be O'Riordan, the Irish recruit for the Swans. Kick to defensive 50. No mark taken. Bell roves the pack. He handballs to Fleming, and there's been a free kick off the ball going the Lions' way in the goal square. It'll be Ryan Lester to take the free kick. Didn't see that one, Pricey.
No, I think what we've got here is a couple of games going on in the different ovals, so there's some rampant whistles all around the place that sort of getting a little bit confusing, let's put it that way. But
so this is Lester on the approach. Should make no mistake, and he doesn't. That's the second for the Brisbane Lions. 2-3 leading the Swans 1-1, and we've played 15 minutes in the opening term.
Yeah, Ryan Lester, he's been a good player for the Brisbane Lions organisation over the period. He got drafted back in 2010, played 105 AFL games. He's a steady hand, and you just saw that there as he dropped it through. Be really good for the development of some of these boys in the NEFL side to have somebody who's such a steadying influence. Of course, has captained the club on occasions as well.
Yeah, he's a well-respected leader at the Lions. It was a tough call at the selection table for him to be omitted from the AFL side and come back to the NEFL. So we want to impress for sure, but you're right, Pricey. His leadership and experience will be invaluable to this young side. So it's McInerney versus Darcy Cameron. We'll give that one to McInerney again. Lions player tackled into the ground. Umpires are letting it go today, which isn't a bad thing at all. Plenty of bodies in. Jake Brown overran the ball. Now the Swans have it in the middle. It's with Fox. Takes it back out to the outside. Just mucking around with it a little bit, not decisively moving it. Now Stoddart gets involved and then peels into the middle. Nice pass. And hits again Jake Brown, Coffs Harbour product. And he's going to have a shot from probably a similar distance than the last one, just a little bit off centre. It's good work there by Stoddart, just to put the skates on and burst out of the contest to give himself some time and space, and measured that pass beautifully to Brown. Missed a shot from a similar distance and angle earlier. Let's see what he can do.
Jake Brown from right outside 50. That's as straight as a die, but fades. Oh, it still stays in. Goal umpire sold me the dummy there. But it's the second goal for the Sydney Swans. Well done to Jake Brown. So it's 2-3-15 the Lions, 2-1-13 the Sydney Swans.
And these two sides, they played 3 times last year. Brisbane Lions won all 3 contests, including, of course, that epic grand final by 3 points. But every time they played, it was this kind of contest. They were just feeling each other out in the first couple of quarters before one managed to gain the ascendancy. So, great start to this game.
So there is a great rivalry and a fierceness between the two clubs that we've seen over. That's just grown naturally over the last couple of years.
So McInerney palms down to Lions, handballs to Leicester, and the Lions win the clearance. Inside forward 50, no one there to take the mark, so the Swans should mop up, and they do. Maybaum, short kick, but intercepted by Starcevic. Called to play on, handball into space. Maybaum again goes in there, can gather, handball to Fox. Handball's out to his running teammate in Ling. On the outside there is Stoddart, and he's away again. Takes one bounce. Short kick though, ineffective, but they managed to gather it on the outside wing now. Rose back to Stoddart, is run out of space, and he ended up kicking into Johnson. Ricochets over the boundary line for a throw-in, almost on the true centre wing position out of side.
Lions by 2 points. Interesting first term as they feel each other out, these two great sides. Replay of last year's grand final, which again was an epic battle. So we've got McInerney versus Cameron. Cameron gets that one. It was just a short drop of a throw in. Stoddart, again, can negotiate his way through traffic. Just gets his foot to ball, though. Drops into the path of Jack Frost. Can't take the mark. Crawls on hands and knees after it. And over the top of his opponent as well. Did beautifully. It's kicked out of congestion into the middle of the ground. It bounces awkwardly there for Meacham. With the ball now for Brisbane, Johnson. He turns it over, though. Sydney again will have the ball with Cordell in the middle of the ground. Ben Keys stands the mark. Just again, those just little turnovers are costing both sides as they move the ball forward. McKinley Pearce touched the man on the mark. Well done to Paparone, who just put his mitt out and controlled it towards the boundary line. Liam Dawson tries to sell the dummy. Nicely slapped out of his hands by Pearce, and we'll have a throw in front of the Lions bench.
4 players on debut for Sydney today. Stoddart's one of those on his comeback from injury. Cordell, Veerhouse and Pearce Academy prospects for the Swans. Plenty of new faces out there today. As the umpire throws it back in, Cameron and McInerney in the ruck. Didn't want to Cameron, just palmed it down, but his kick was smothered. Paparone mops up. Handball now out to Leicester. He's got Cox behind him, but he wheels around and just goes down the wing. Ballenden and Smith will fly at this one. Ball now ground level. This is Bell. He handballs inboard. Swans now can go inside forward 50. No mark taken. Eagles is in there, crushing the pack, and that's Paparone coming through, but that was a throw.
Yeah, it was,
Clear as
wasn't it?
day, free kick to the Swans.
Good call by the ump. He was actually blindsided a little bit by that body-wise, but you just see the action of the double hit as the ball left the hands of the Brisbane player.
So Brown, his third shot for the day. He's traditionally a midfielder that we've seen in the knee for the last couple of years. We're playing a forward role today. He's going all right so far.
He looks lively enough.
So Bell from 50 gives it a ride. He's got the distance but not the accuracy. Fades again to the left for a minor score. Lions 2-3-15 lead the Swans 2-2-14. We played nearly 20 minutes in this opening term.
So the Lions to bring it in. Cedric Cox finds a pass. Ben Keys in the right back pocket. Again, he's got a leader in Bastanak. Hits him with that ball. So just again, the Lions methodically moving out of defence with possession game. Cedric Cox, another chipping pass, and he's going to find Jacob Allison. Keeps running, does Cox, but Allison holds the ball. Probably look to go back out to the open side again. Jack Frost gives it back now to Allison. Spears a pass up through Corey Lyons. A little bit further right to Bastanak again, who's done some fine running. Loops the handball over the top now to Allison. Just methodically moving it, Brisbane, with Bastanak. Looping it over the top to Paparone. A long kick inside 50, looking for McInerney. It drops short. McInerney brings the ball to ground. Overrunning it there for Sydney was Styles. Can they get out? They do. Well done to Jake Brown, who's having a good game, and Sydney are out.
O'Riordan, short pass into the centre circle. Now kick around the body, but it's ill-directed. Matty Eagles takes the easiest of defensive marks. True centre-half back position for the Lions. Goes out wide and has Allison. Short kick finds Paparone on the outer wing. He goes short again. Archie Smith on the lead. They love the short kicking game. Brisbane led the competition for short kicks last year. Kick inside forward 50. No mark. McStay roves his own contest. Handballs to Ballenden. Just a quick kick into the hot spot, running and taking the mark. Looks like it's Starcevic for the Lions. and he can line up for Brisbane's third goal.
Of course, the nephew of Craig Starcevich, the AFLW Brisbane Lions coach, another East Perth product, taken at number 18 in the 2017 draft. Got 3 goals last week. Let's see if he can get his first on the board for the Lions here.
So the 18-year-old draftee, very measured approach, obviously a practice technique as he's on the approach now from 40. Let's go straight over the umpire's hat, and that's the third to Brisbane. 3-3-21, Sydney 2-2-14, 22 minutes played in the first.
You hit the nail on the head there, Jess. Just good technique. You can actually see he's got a particular style as far as getting the takeoff. Nice straight running and absolutely drilled it through the middle. Well done to Brendan Starcevich. So, yeah, the Lions just pulling away just a little, but again, it's between these two sides, nobody ever gets the ascendancy truly until the final siren, do they?
You're exactly right. Just looking at the tackle count so far, Sydney Swans leading 17-4. So they're putting the pressure on, but as we can see already, I think the Lions they're controlling the tempo of the game a bit better, and they definitely look a little bit more settled when they get possession to spot up their targets.
So we're in the middle. Sydney extracting the ball now. Long kick inside 50. Cedric Cox read it well. Pushed out a little. Skrivenik gives the ball to Brown. Brown just centres it, nicely weighted. He was under a lot of pressure and got absolutely hammered as he kicked it. Nice mark taken by Bailey Stewart. He kicked a goal last week for the Swans in their narrow loss to the Giants. So let's see what he can do here with a shot from around about 40 metres directly in front.
Yeah, great vision under pressure, like you mentioned, Pricey, from Brown. He started really well. 6 disposals already. 7 disposals, 3 marks, and a goal as well. So great work there to set up his teammate.
Bailey Stewart, let's go from 45. It's a high ball right to the line. Good body work from Amati on the goal line. Got rid of Matt Eagles as well. And it's another goal for the Sydney Swans. So they're going toe to toe. 3-3-21, the Brisbane Lions to 3-2-20. Late in the first term here on NEFL TV, it's another 1-point ball game.
The academy prospects combining there, one recently drafted and one hoping to get his name on an AFL list at the end of the year in Bailey Stewart. He's part of their under-19 academy this year, and of course he will look to Jake Brown for inspiration, who, as I mentioned earlier, was the first player from any of the under-19 academies to be drafted onto an AFL list last year.
They do it well, though, the Sydney Swans. Both clubs have actually got magnificent academies and pathways for their good players to come up through.
So Sydney Swans win the clearance from the middle of the ground. Brown under plenty of numbers around this ball. He wasn't going anywhere. And now it's the Lions forcing a ball up through Keneally. The umpire restarts play. We're about 60 metres out from the Swans goal. Lester's in there. He's tackled by Fox. And then again wrapped up by the goal kicker in Stewart. So we're not going anywhere.
No, there's a lot of bodies around this ball. Archie Smith in front of Cameron. Oh, they took out the umpire. It was umpire Jamison Galbraith, got taken out by a couple of players, did beautifully and bounced up as the ball goes back to centre forward for the Sydney Swans. And Marty's putting himself in there. Again, Brown. Cedric Cox and Matthew Eagles have got a Sydney Swans player completely smothered there. Can't quite see who it is. It's Bell. James Bell comes up with the ball. Got to say, well done to umpire Galbraith. Just got smashed and bounced straight back up, and he's throwing the ball up. Well done. Archie Smith can't quite get it. It's hacked out of there by Sydney. Bastanak, handball over to Clay Beams now. Nice work to Bell. Back to Beams. Looking for a little chipping pass. Still directed from Clay Beams. It's taken by Harrison Marsh. Sydney's best last week. 32-odd disposals, the boy from WA.
Former NEFL Team of the Year member as well. Just long kick inside forward 50. Plenty of numbers around this. Eagles takes out Amati and he wins himself a free kick.
He's that dangerous size, isn't he? Matthew Eagles is no small boy himself with a couple 100 centimetres, but Amati, 195.
So it just decides to load up and goes right to the top of the square. Another pack forms. Cameron at front spot. A ball spills over the line for a minus score. So we have scores level here at Moreton Bay Central Sports Complex. 3-3 apiece as the Lions bring it back in, and Lions takes the mark.
Corey Lyons, that is. Former Sandringham product. just outside his own goal square. Chips it now to Jacob Allison, another member of the Lions Academy, taken from the Aspley Footy Club. Cedric Cox chips it now, punched away. That's really good defensive work from the Sydney Swans there. And just in front of the marquee, we've got a bit of a blind spot. Over the boundary line, we'll get a bit of a throw in. Again, this is a dead set arm wrestle, and you wouldn't expect anything different from a Brisbane Lions Sydney Swans near-full clash the way it's gone over the last couple of years. Archie Smith over the back of Cameron, gives it to Bell. Bell back to Smith. Handball in close quarters. He's just dropped that cold. Dropped it like a school case. Good tackle from Harry Marsh. Have the kick just in front of us in the commentary box.
The Swans pressing for a late goal here, approaching quarter time. Kick inside 50.
Ooh.
Contest Bastanak is met heavily there by O'Riordan, and his umpire is paid holding the ball. Incorrect disposal, I think, is the correct terminology for that piece of play.
Well, Tom McCartney gets the free kick. I think Ryan Bastanak might have been stiff not to get one for a high contact early. But it's very subjective.
It was McCartan who laid that tackle to win the free kick. So McCartan plays predominantly as a forward. Quite an athletic type. Comes in from 45 metres, but he sprayed that one off the boot. Only a minor score. 3-4-22 plays the Lions 3-3-21. 28 minutes gone now in the first term.
So all players forward of the centre circles again. Corey Lyons receives the ball from the kick in. And that'll do it for the first quarter here at Burpengary at the Moreton Bay Central Sports Complex. At quarter time, it's the Sydney Swans 3-4-22. They're 1 point in front of the Brisbane Lions 3-3-21. Your goal scorers Ryan Lester, Brandon Starcevich and Archie Smith for Brisbane. And you've got Bailey Stewart, Joel Amati and Jake Brown for the Sydney Swans. We might have a little breather. We'll be back with the second quarter. We'll discuss what happened in that first quarter very shortly here on NEFL TV with our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Welcome back to Burp and Gary, Moreton Bay Central Sports Complex. It's NEFL Round 2, the Brisbane Lions versus the Sydney Swans in the grand final replay. We're streaming live on NEFL TV with our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Michael Price and Jess Webster calling your action at quarter time. The Sydney Swans hold sway by 1 point, 3-4-22 to the Lions 3-3-21. It's an arm wrestle, Jess.
It was a very interesting first quarter. I felt like for most of it, Brisbane controlled possession really well. But in saying that, it's the Swans who were leading on the scoreboard because they took their opportunities when they had them in attack. So great work there by us. And Jake Brown in particular in that first quarter was really impressed. 7 disposals, a goal, and set up another goal to his teammate in Bailey Stewart. So almost ready to get underway in the second quarter, and let's see who can come out on top.
The Lions 25 marks to the Swans 13. That's probably the biggest differential outside of the tackle stats, where the Swans lead 24-7. So they're either chasing tail or just sticking them when they have to, the Sydney Swans. But as we say, it's always a tight game of footy between these two clubs. We'll get back into the middle. Jess Webster.
McInerney and Cameron to contest this ball up. McInerney following up his work at ground level. Lions is in there, just gets the toe poke. Paparone who meets it, handballs out in space. Now Bastanak gathers, goes backwards to Allison. Allison's kick is smothered, going in there Cameron, laying some body work. Swans went out through Ling, twists and turns, but coughs it up. Umpires pulled out a free kick, going the Swans' way to Ling. Could have been caught high there, Pricey.
They were just a little bit in the back there as he was taken down. Tom Bell probably lucky he didn't give away a 50 for playing on and having a ping, albeit wayward. So it's Matthew Ling, no relation to Cameron. Kicks it inside, defensive 50. Gives it across to Dylan Smith. He goes out to the outer side. It is a good switch, and they do it well, the Sydney Swans. They just, I suppose it's probably a little bit windier than it looks from over here, down on ground level. Tommy McCartan actually was held as he just let the ball go to ground, and Matthew Eagles receives the free kick for the Brisbane Lions. He's going to tow it forward, finds Ryan Lester. Lester's got nobody near him. Another chipping ball to centre half forward, to the left half forward, I should say. It's Dan McStay. Again, they're a bit too easy getting the space with the chipping passes. It's Clay Beams. Wheels around, inside 50. Can they make it pay this time? Yes, no. Starcevic drops the mark. It's Tom Bell, handball, Paparone, and the player on his own is Ryan Lester. Whoa, you would leave a 100-game AFL player by himself in the forward 50. Has me a bit stymied, but they have. And Ryan Lester will have a shot from 35 metres out. Slight angle.
And again, we see that patience from Brisbane just to try and methodically move it forward. I think it was Balladin in that last marking contest down to the line. He's going to be a star of the future. We can get his confidence up. I feel like he should just absolutely smash those packs when he comes through. But Lester now to have the shot on goal.
So he's already kicked one, Ryan Lester. Leans back. It's a high ball. Goal umpire doesn't move. So goal number 2 to Ryan Lester, and the first one of the second quarter goes to the Brisbane Lions. So it's 4-3-27 playing the Sydney Swans. 3-4-22. 5 points the margin. And we've played a couple of minutes of the second term on NEFL TV.
So Cox, Allison and Lions now up to 9 disposals each for the Lions. And for the Swans, Marsh, Brown and Fox on 7 each. As you mentioned before, Pricey, the tackle count 25-8 going Sydney's way, but the Lions lead the hitouts 14-5, clearances 10-6, and inside 50s 13-9.
Some tall timber there. Oscar McInerney's a very promising ruckman in the middle for the Brisbane Lions. Another 204 centimetre product. He's hard to move out of the way. He gets over the top of Darcy Cameron there. Nicely roved there for the Swans by Fox. Turns around, kicks it long to centre half forward. Inside 50. Eagles, and over the back there was Keneally. Umpire has called it for Matthew Eagles. And he'll take the kick just in front of his own goal.
So Matty Eagles, a 28-year-old, short kick, picked up well by Lester. Handball's back to Eagles. He's under pressure, doesn't get the handball away in time. That's holding the ball. Free kick to the Swans. Great pressure from McCartan to force that turnover and free kick. And he will line up for his first goal of the game.
Well, he's had a ping at a couple of them. He's only had the one behind so far, Tommy McCartan. It was a good tackle there. Matthew Eagles just bit off a little bit more than he could chew in defensive 50.
So McCartan, the 18-year-old draftee, comes in, just crosses 50 metres, let's go, but it fades to the left. The Lions 4-3-27, Swans 3-5-23.
So the Lions to bring the ball back in as Jack Frost. Long kick in the direction of Ballenden. Punched away from him. Tom Bell gets involved. Well, on to Fox. Handballs it forward. O'Riordan. Nice pass. Hits McCartan at the true centre-half forward position. He's looking to pass it off, but just judging from his previous couple of kicks, he's got the distance covered. It's just a matter of accuracy.
I think he wants just another chance to redeem himself, I think, Price. He sort of saw him take the mark there, and he had a couple of options, but he's like, no, I can handle this one myself.
So Tom McCartan, another Geelong Falcons product. Let's go from 55. It's good purchase, but it's pulled to the left and easily punched through by the Lions defence. So a couple of chances for Sydney early doors in the second quarter. They're only trailing by 3 points, 4-3 to 3-6.
So the Swans peppering the scoreboard at the moment early in their second quarter. It'll be Frost to handle the kick-in duties for the Lions. He just goes long to the boundary side. Ballenden will lead this one. Ball at ground level, fisted down. Bassinak couldn't gather. Spills over the boundary line for a throw-in, right where the 50-metre line intersects the boundary. So
you've got the two spoilers there in Maybom and Smith over the top of Ballenden. It's kind of a tension Connor Ballenden's going to have to deal with as he goes forward.
So ball back into play there. Bell can't gather it at ground level. Ball in dispute now. Rose just emerges from the pack, wants to get it off to Fox. He goes inboard. That's a very well way to kick. Finds Stewart on the lead, the goal kicker. 18-year-old academy prospect goes inside forward 50 now. Lions have the numbers, are in best position, and that is great defensive mark taken by Allison.
Yeah, well done. Just couldn't quite direct that kick. As the Lions are going to muck this up as they come out of forward defensive 50. Ronke curls it around and makes them pay for the turnover. Well done to Ben Ronke. Very good last week and a telling goal during the second quarter here at Burpengary. So it's 4-6-30 to the Sydney Swans. They regain the lead to the Lions. 4-3-27. Well, we got 4-7-31. What's the official score, Jess?
4-6-30.
I'd leave it there at this stage.
So 3 points the difference, and we can see that arm wrestle is still continuing in their second quarter, Pricey. It's a fascinating battle, not as many highlights, I think, that we've been accustomed to in previous contests last year. But nonetheless, we've got a game on our hands here at Moreton Bay Central Sports Complex. So ball back in the middle now. This is Smith and Amadi in the ruck. Lions win the clearance. Paparone just throws it on the right boot. Inside forward 50, pack forms, no mark. Beams will be first to meet it. He just runs through the pack on the right, and that is a fantastic miss to Clay Beams.
One of his best points ever.
But great roving, that contest. Unfortunately for him, just missed to the left-hand side. The Swans will bring it back in.
So again, the Swans deliberately bring the ball out of defence. So Reardon, that's a spearing pass. Finds his teammate in Cordell. Cordell's got the run of Harry Marsh. Handballs it to him, looking for McCartan at the back of the pack. Could have been infringed by Matthew Eagles. No. Running in with the flight of the ball, he took all ball, according to the umpire. Now Jack Frost picks it up, puts on the skates, handballs. Now it's loose in front of Cedric Cox. Just paddles it in front of himself. Loses the handle on it. Here's Ronke, the recent goal scorer. Back now to Amati. Let's go from 45. A standing start and just right. They are peppering the Swans. So it's 4-7-31 to 4-4-28. Back to 3 points.
They're letting them off the hook at the moment, the Swans. This will be Paparone to bring it back in. Kicks it to himself. Goes through a bit of a jog. And then kicks it outside 50. He's got Archie Smith, but ball didn't quite reach him. He finally meets it now. Just bashes through Stoddart. We'll have a ball up.
It's actually good to see Archie Smith putting that physical work in, Jess. He's a big, big lad, and if he's going to make that next step in his career, he's got to get a little bit more grunt into it.
So give that one to Amadi, down to Ron. Quick kick inside forward 50. No mark taken at the front. Allison just straight into the back of his opponent. And it'll be Scrivenik to take the free kick from a long way out in a tough angle.
He's looking inwards, but it's one of those looks that a forward gives just to give the coaching staff the impression that they're looking inwards. If you know what I mean. I think he's always going to have a shot.
taking his time now, so he's going to back himself. A premiership player with Pennant Hills in the AFL Sydney competition last year. A member of the Swans under-19 academy squad this year. Crosses 50 metres. Let's go. It's got the distance, but again, we see another behind to the Swans. 4.8.32 now, leading the Lions 4.4.28. And we played 10 minutes in the second term.
So after 10 minutes, they've had 1 goal for the Sydney Swans, not making the Lions pay. Cedric Cox plays on. Hits his target in Ryan Lester. 40 metres from his own goal. Just holding it up, looking for the good option. Finds that in Ben Keys. Playing a quieter defensive role today. Keys back to Lester. So they haven't moved much, but they are engaging in the switch now to the open side. Here comes Eagles. Eagles with the long kick to Allison. Did well to basically keep his feet where his opponent lost his. Paparone, couldn't quite give it to Allison, but backed up his work. Puts it inside to Keneally. He's tackled. Ball spills. Harry Marsh dives on it. Keneally on top of him. Umpire's going to say, we'll ball it up. Harry Marsh gives young Keneally a little bit of advice while they're down close and personal on the ground. Always good to see a bit of by-play, Jess.
Absolutely, keeps it interesting. Smith and Amati in the ruck. Smith just gathers and hacks it forward. It'll be McStay who sat underneath that one and takes a good contested mark. Kicks it inside 50. No one's there to be a foot race. Keys comes to meet it. Ball still in dispute. Now the Swans went out. This is O'Riordan on the right, goes out to the outside wing and finds Ronke on the lead in front of Cox.
And we've got a Sydney Swans player from that last contest where Dan McStay actually took the mark, has not moved. Do we have a trainer out there? He's just moving his legs around now. I think he...
Shoulder up, Pricey, you think?
He's holding up at around that area, but he just was not comfortable from the time the ball left the area. He stayed down there as the ball went out at right half forward for the Sydney Swans. I'll get you to keep an eye on that player as we keep an eye on the play here. Amati slapped it down. It's taken by Sloan. Gives it to Keys, who hooks it around the body. Juggling effort there. Nice mark by O'Riordan. He's got the ball on the outer wing. Lions have set up very well in front, so he kicks long down the line. Oh, good mark from Darcy Cameron, the captain of the side today, as that player we were talking about, but it's basically been taken off him. The player held down in the marking contest before Darcy Cameron got there was Allison. He chips it forward, gives it to Lester, who puts him under a lot of pressure. The kick didn't find the target, gave the Swans a chance to tackle. We'll have a ball up. So that player was Tom Meacham, the emergency. He has got up and he's on the bench looking reasonable at the moment.
So ball's contested on the outer side. So Reardon trying to get it forward for the Swans, but the Lions went out. Keys, handballs to Lions. Short kick finds Ballenden. True centre wing position. He wheels around, wants to go inboard, and he's got a couple of teammates. This is Sloan now from about 60 metres out to the square. Does it roll through? No, it doesn't. Crosses the line for a minor score. So the Lions now 4-5-29, Sydney 4-8-32.
So again, 3 points the margin in favour of the Swans. They bring the ball back in. He's got plenty of time to adjust as O'Riordan brings the ball back to fullback. The Lions pressing up as well, so they're not making it easy for Sydney to extract the ball from defensive 50. As indicated there was a contest between Ben Sloan and Bell. Ball hit the deck and Bastanak got a high tackle. Will cop that free kick for a high tackle, 45 metres out, directly in front. It is just inch by inch, this game. And Ryan Bastanak, very experienced campaigner. He was very good last week with 27 disposals and a goal. Let's go from 45. Nice kick. Nice kick indeed from Ryan Bastanak. Puts the Lions back in front by 3 points. A seesawing battle here at Burpengary. 5-5-35 the Lions to 4-8-32 the Sydney Swans. And we've played around about 13 minutes of the second quarter here on NEFL TV.
It's hard to get a read on this game, isn't it, Pricey? It's just, like you said, it's just trading blows at the moment, not taking your chances in front of goal. I feel like either side could have really opened up a sizable gap in the first half, but a series of missed shots by each is just keeping it close on the scoreboard.
I think Sydney really had their opportunity in that little patch between the 3-minute mark and the 10-minute mark of this quarter. That 7 minutes they had 1 goal for, where it could have been a lot more damaging.
So we're back in the middle now. Amadi doing his work at ground level, but that was McInerney. His kick off the ground went straight to a Sydney Swans opponent. Kick up towards half forward now. No mark taken. Robbie Fox leads the players to the ball, but it trickles over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Tom McCartan, the younger brother of Paddy McCartan, who's drafted to St Kilda, like the way he moves towards the ball. He's got Jack Frost on his hammer at the moment, but he's a good mover. You can see that he knows his forward craft. He's getting in front.
So it was Dylan Smith who came off earlier with that injury, but he's on the boundary line looking okay, so he should be right to come back on for the Swans as the umpire restarts play. We've got a whistle on play. It's going the Lions' way to Starcevic. Short kick finds Lions, and he turns it over straight to a Reardon. Ballenden couldn't get there in time to force a contest. The Swans were positioned at right half back.
So once again, it's a slow movement, all play on the outer side of the ground. The Sydney bring the ball back in. It's with Angus Styles, still sitting inside defensive 50. He's got a couple of movers here. That's a dangerous kick. Gave Sloan a good look at it, kept his feet. The Lions end up with the ball. Clay Beams, the right foot shot to the top of the square. Good defensive effort there from Styles. Punches the ball away, and the umpire has said it was a throw, that last disposal that came from O'Riordan, who's pleading his case on the ground.
He's in best position, the umpire.
Well, he's a lot closer than we are, that's for sure. It's umpire Manthe, Cameron Manthe, has awarded the free kick, and it will go to Tom Bell. Again with Tom, distance not an issue. It's all about the accuracy. It's the big sticks, big fella. Comes in from 25 metres. Oh, makes the goal umpire do a lot of work, but it sneaks through. So the Lions pinch a bit of a break here. 2 straight goals to them in the last couple of minutes. Gives them a 9-point lead. They haven't had that.
It's the biggest margin of the game so far, Bryce.
At all during the game. Well done, Jess. So 18 minutes gone of this second term, and they've cracked it open to a 9-point lead.
So Ryan Lester now up to 12 disposals, 6 marks and 2 goals for the Lions. Allison also on 12 possessions, and for the Swans, Fox with 10 disposals and Harry Marsh with 9. So a couple of the Lions key ball winners there. Leicester and Lions with 11 disposals getting their hands on it as the umpire throws the ball up in the middle. It'll be the Swans who gather at first. Ronke, but he's tackled by Lions, manages to get the handball away to Ling. Handball's over the top to Rose, tries to take him on. Handball inboard to Bell. His shot from 45 metres out is ill-directed for another minor score to the Swans. 4-9 now, trailing Brisbane 6-5.
So last week the Swans' inaccuracy did cost them, and it's costing them so far. They've had a couple more shots than the Lions, and they're trailing by 8 points as Cedric Cox marks the ball in front of Stoddart. Again, steadying the play. Long down the commentary wing. Big fly over the back. Archie Smith fisted it forward. It's taken by Starcevic. Cop one a bit high. Umpire saw that too. So Brandon Starcevic, right in front of the Brisbane Lions bench, will take the free kick. The East Perth product uses his right shoe to get it to right half forward. That's a great kick. Connor Ballenden probably entitled to take that. Got a chop of the arms off Harry Marsh anyway. So Ballenden will take the free kick at right half forward. Now he kicks long to the hot spot. Big fly over the top there from Jack Maybaum. Just belted it into the boundary. We'll get a throw in the right forward pocket.
He's presenting well so far, Ballenden. I'm looking forward to seeing his development this year in the NEFL. Obviously, he's a Lions Academy product and was a premiership player for the Lions last year as the umpire restarts play. Winning at first is Leicester, but he's wrapped up immediately. Ball spills out Lions now. Can get front spot. Tackled. Ball still up for grabs, but boundary line beats them all. We'll have boundary thrown almost in an identical position.
This is a very tight game here at Burpengary for round 2 of NEFL TV. The Brisbane Lions leading the Sydney Swans by 8 points. The Lions pressing again. Archie Smith gets it down. Taking the ball was Starcevic, tackled into the ground. Once again, the umpire says we'll ball it up 40 metres out. A dead set arm wrestle in the old vernacular as Darcy Cameron gets a tap out. It's hacked out of the pack by the Swans. Coming towards the commentary box side. Well done to Tom McCartan, got the ball away. Tackled into the ground was Skrivenik. Copped a free kick and Tom McCartan will get the free kick. Liam Dawson infringing. I really like the looks of Tommy McCartan. He just looks a footballer straight up. Not a lot of movement as both defences have set up beautifully every time the opposition gets the ball. Long kick, it's a 1-on-3. And Jack Frost gets his fist to it. It goes over the head there of Skrivenik and will get a throw in next to the Swans bench.
So we've ticked into time on now of the second quarter. Margin 8 points going the Lions' way. As we've mentioned, it's been neck and neck all afternoon here at Burpengary as the umpire tosses it back in. It's Cameron and McInerney in the ruck. Cameron slightly, but the ball is going absolutely nowhere and we'll have the ball up. Wing position, commentary side.
Yeah, beautiful day here in Burpengary. We've got 27 degrees, just a little bit of humidity because the drizzle has been hanging around. It hasn't unloaded on the field only earlier before the game, so it's been nice dry conditions as well, but a little humid as the players go in again. Hard efforts there. Once again, Unard jumps in. Coming up last with the ball is Brandon Starcevic, who's done that a couple of times. Ball hits the deck again. Swans with the numbers. Ronke gets it onto the right shoe. Kicks it towards Amati and Frost. Floating across. Good fist from the Lions defence. Brings it down. It was great work by Liam Dawson, who just floated across the front of Jack Frost and Jack Amati and Joel Amati, sorry, and punched it over the boundary line. Good defensive effort.
They've done that well, the Lions, so far. Their tall timber is really doing well and sort of controlling those 50-50 contests, not letting the Swans get any contested marks inside forward 50. The umpire brings it back in. Cox there on his hands and knees. Ball spills out now in the direction of Bell. He takes 1, 2, 3 efforts, doesn't get the connection. Have a boundary throw in on the other side of the right-hand goal post.
Yeah, doesn't look too happy about it, does young Bell, James Bell. And looks like some kind of lower leg injury, or is it a bit of a cramp?
He did look to fall awkwardly as he was kicking it.
He's back up on his feet, just sucking in the big ones at the moment, so that's good news. As every player on the field is forward of the centre circles, most of them inside attacking 50 for Sydney. Over the back was Amati, slapped it down. It's controlled by Jack Frost, loses it, snapped out of the pack, and another behind. And that was Bailey Stewart, sorry, just in the middle of that pack. So 4 goals, 10 to Sydney, not taking their chances when inside 50.
Margin 7 points. Cox short kick to Frost. Left back pocket for the Lions, called to play on, tries the short option. He's got Dawson, but he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Swans now, another chance to put on some scoreboard pressure, and it will be Stoddart to bring it back in, but nobody there for the Swans, and Ben Keys professionally runs it over the line for a point.
So late in the second quarter, and again the Sydney Swans inaccuracy is going to cost them. 1 goal 7 in this term to the Lions 3 goals 2. Lions will bring it out. Tom Bell starting to come back. He ran about 25 metres. Got to bounce it every 15, sunshine. As Tom Bell got inspired by the Commonwealth Games and just decided to take off for a sprint. So it's Ben Ronke. Long kick to the goal square. Frost lets it go over the back. It bounces and bounces and bounces.
That's a coach killer.
That is an absolute coach killer. Let that one bounce over your melon, straight through the goals. Gives the Swans a goal they desperately required. Scores a level, 6-5-41 to the Lions and 5-11-41 to the Swans.
Oh, Frost, he did everything well. He got his opponent out of the way. He just forgot the ball going over his head, bouncing towards goal. And Mitch Hahn, I think, will be tearing his hair out at the moment. Tom Bell giving away a free kick for running too far. Just an indecisive play there by Bell. Gave the opportunity to the Swans, and Ronke just went, I'm just going to go along to the hot spot, hope for the best, and roll through for a goal as easy as you like.
Probably not one that Ben Ronke was thinking he was going to get, but he did get it. Very good last week, and he gets another goal for the Sydney Swans.
His second for the quarter, Ronke. Bell wins the centre clearance, hacks it inside forward 50. Ballenden comes to meet it. He's wrapped up by O'Riordan, and we'll have a ball up. True centre half forward position for the Lions. 25 minutes played in this second term.
So at centre half forward, Archie Smith belts it down. Clay beams over the top, and Ryan Lester tackling an unnamed Sydney Swans jumper who's absolutely enveloped by those two bodies. It was Robbie Fox. Umpire will ball it up again. Cameron beat Smith for that one, but Lester got his body in front. Still there, searching for the free kick was Ryan Lester. Nothing happening. Tom Bell sinks the slipper in. If that's not kicking in danger, I'm not here. Ronke went away holding his hands. Sydney clear the ball. Dawson, yeah, see that coming a mile away. He had the set, Liam Dawson, the former Aspley product, and he's going to kick it inside 50 or to the edge of 50 and finds Tom Bell. Bell looking to handball it off. This is where he should take responsibility. Go back and have a very big ping at the big ones. He just lays it up to the top of the square. He saw Dan McStay coming, and Dan McStay can take a grab. He juggles it 10 metres out on a tight angle. Good pass in the end from Tom Bell.
Yeah, it's a great piece of play there by the Lions. Dawson had to mark it. It was 1 against 4, so if he dropped it, they were in all sorts, and they had space to move as well, the Swans. So it was Dawson taking that intercept mark. Laid it off to Bell, and he was just smart enough to put it in the direction of McStay, and this would be a great redemption for the Lions.
So Dan McStay, 62 AFL games, and shows his poise there. Kicks it straight through the middle, and the Brisbane Lions will take a lead late in the second term. 7-5-47 to Sydney Swans, 5-11-41. So it's one straight goal the difference. Round 2 of NEFL TV. NEFL proudly sponsored by our good guys at Elastoplast. See a few of the players wearing the sponsor's product there as well as they come in and off the ground.
The Lions 4-2 to 2-7 this quarter, and they hold a 6-point lead. It's been an odd second quarter, if I might say it, Pricey.
Oh, it has been. You may say it, Jess.
But it's the Lions, importantly, leading on the scoreboard as we approach half-time, and what we can only describe as an arm wrestle so far in this grand final rematch between Brisbane and Sydney. Archie Smith flies at the centre clearance, but it'll be the Swans who win it first. This is Fox now, just bursting out of the pack. Short kick, ineffective, but his teammate in Link can gather it. Pops it over to a running academy in Unard.
Oh.
Kicks inside forward 50. Ball spills over the pack. Amity tries to just bend it through, but it hits the post for a minor score. Another behind to the Swans.
So that makes it 5-12. 5 points the margin. There's the Lions again, just slowly keeping the ball in hand. Billy Johnson now has it in the right back pocket. Uses the left foot to effect, kicks it in the McInerney direction. It was Ballenden over the top. Got the fist down, Sydney. Robbie Fox tackle. Just got his foot to the ball. He did well, but it advantages the Lions. Jacob Allison to the run of Keys, to the run of Lester. Beams, Clay, over. Can they get it through to centre forward? Dan McStay is on the lead. Takes the mark in front of Harry Marsh. McStay, inside 50. Keys kept running, just couldn't quite take the mark. Starcevic goes to ground, taken by Styles, dribbled along the boundary line. Lions players will appeal for deliberate, and good on the umpire for not paying that one, because that would have been terrible. Brett Ritchie, well done, sir. Throw in. Left half forward for the Brisbane Lions. They moved the ball reasonably well there, but just didn't finish off their work, Jess.
It was a good build-up and good running from Keys. The umpire brings it back in the shadows of half-time here at Burpengary. Smith against Cameron. Beans wins it at ground level. Handballs to Keys. Just a little scrubber kick along the ground. Lions tries to just push his opponent out of the way. Bell gives the fend off. He kicks towards the hot spot. Swans should win out in numbers, and they do. This is Marsh for the Swans. Wheels around, goes back inboard. One-on-one contest on the wing.
Oh,
and it's Ronke. Great work there to win the one-on-one contest against Fleming. Or it was Johnson. Sorry. Inboard now. Handball misdirected. Swans can still win this. They're under pressure, though, from the Lions. Quick kick out to half forward, marked by McCartan. He can wheel around, goes inside forward 50. Eagles against Marty. Was that touched?
Nope. Or not. There's a conference. There you go.
And it's a goal. A goal to McCartan. Twice in a row now, a ball has gone over a one-on-one contest and resulted in a goal for the Swans. Eagles, though, tried to do everything, just didn't get those fingertips on it. And it's the Swans now who regain the lead by 1 point, 6-12-48. Leads Brisbane 7-5-47. We've just ticked over 30 minutes in the second term.
3 goals, 8 to the Sydney Swans in this term. They could have turned the game on its head, but they're starting to make sure that they get goals instead of behinds towards the latter stages of the second quarter.
I'm loving the presence of McCartan so far in this game. Of course, played his first game for the club last week.
He's a good pickup, definitely. At the base of the pack, Robbie Fox toes it forward. Keneally can't quite control it for Brisbane. Clay Beams can in the end. Spears a pass, punched away from Allison. Nicely rode there by Sloan, but then spins into a beautiful tackle there. Well done by Dylan Smith. Sydney will take the free kick at half back. Smith, he's got a man at the back here, and Rose had the set. Oh, could have been mark of the weak territory there. Didn't quite time the run up. Over the back, Eagles in front of McCartan does well. Handball back inside defensive 50. Can they get out of trouble here, Brisbane? They should. Oh, good tackle, McCartan. Ronke going for goal number 3. Should be allowed to play on. No, that's a great decision to have him not play on because he kicked a point.
Wonderful pressure by the Swans there to again force another opportunity.
Again, this great tackle from Tom McCartan. I'm really enjoying his presence. As I say, we've probably banged on about it in the first half.
He's getting better as the game goes on. You can see him getting more comfortable, getting more confident as the game goes on. And obviously it's only his second game in Swans colours.
Kyle Veerhouse gives it back to James Rose. Let's go from 55, does Rose. What a ripping kick. A ripping kick from James Rose. 2 goals last week, and he's first for the day. And the Lions defence weren't awake to that as Veerhouse just laid the handball off and off a couple of steps. 55, James Rose, well done. 7-12-54 to 7-5-47. The Swans by 7 points.
He always bobs up, James Rose, at some stage of the match, doesn't he? He can do things like that as well as the crumbing goals and the bursting through packs and on the run, but he can also load it up from outside 50. The Swans' leading goal kicker in the NEAFL from last year. He was one of their best contributors at NEAFL level, and you can see why. That was just fantastic.
Averages 2.5 goals per game when he steps out on the field, so just having a look down on the Swans bench too. James Bell, we saw that injury a little bit earlier in the pocket. It looks like James Bell is iced up. He's on crutches at the moment. That'd be precautionary, so you don't think he would be taking further part in the game, James Bell, for the Sydney Swans. As the halftime siren goes, And an intriguing half of football here at Burp and Gary. The Sydney Swans, 7 goals, 12-54 to the Brisbane Lions, 7-5-47. It's a 7-point margin at half-time after the Swans led by a point at quarter time. If you have a look at it though, Jess, 4 goals, 8, what could have been for the Sydney Swans in that second term?
Absolutely, and you saw in their round 1 match against the Giants, again, they won the scoring shots but lost the game by 4 points. So the same has happened again today. It's just, like you said, Pricey, it's just an intriguing contest at the moment. We can't work out who might actually burst this game open, because if the Swans keep peppering at goals and missing these shots, the Lions can score quickly and heavily. They're a very, very good side at NEAFL level, of course, the defending premier. So we've definitely got a game on the hands. Can't wait for the second half.
Yeah, grand final replay here at Burp and Gary. It's NEAFL round 2. We'll be back with the second half shortly on NEAFL TV.
Against Brisbane. Yeah. It's a big drive from Brisbane. Look, one of my sons lives in Springfield, so I go out there a lot. And I personally live in Corinda. Corinda is, so it's not, it really isn't that far coming out there. Once you get used to it, it's really, it's good out there. And Springfield is getting better and better. But, yes, it would have been good if, I'm not saying that somewhere along this will be a longer facility there. understand. I don't understand how Aston get to play home and home. That was but it's flat. And it's only just flat. It's only going to spit. There was talk of doing something. I heard you mention that, and I thought, true, I was here watching it at some time, and something happened and the umpire blew his whistle, but he went like over there as well, and I'm thinking, what's happening here?
Frankly, I thought the state they had really sharp up over there.
Lucky I can't hear the sirens. Nobody's stopping. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, how'd you, how was the boat ride in?
really, really nice.
Oh, they ring me over there. Oh, yeah.
Stuck out to Monday night, like lunch, no? And you went from 0 to 4. Seriously?
I can't get it done. Mine got jiggled around. Well, we couldn't even get the score earlier.
Yeah, Luke they're don't have enough
Yeah, someone's got it. I think it's here, maybe somewhere else. They were temperamental. I had one game when they asked me, I'm doing the timekeeping, they asked me to do this. And somebody, just here, you've got to go in, but here someone had set it for just 3 minutes. And I didn't know that, and I'm trying to do it. Next thing, the clock was stopped, and everyone in the boxes was all saying, but anyway. No, everything is going quite well. Mark, been around a long time. He knows my sons from junior football years ago.
And welcome back to Brisbane, Gary. It's the Moreton Bay Central Sports Complex. We're streaming live on NEFL TV with our broadcast partner Bar TV here on NEFL Round 2. Brisbane Lions at home to the Sydney Swans. At half-time, it's the Swans by 7 points after they led by a point at quarter-time. Jess Webster and Michael Price calling all your action. Jess, it was a real arm wrestle at the first half, though. The Sydney just holding sway.
It really was. In that second quarter, we felt like the Swans could have run away with it. 4 goals 8 to 4 goals 2, and they lead this game by 7 points. The Lions got out to a 9-point lead, which was at the time the largest margin of the match. It has been an intriguing first half of footy. What will the second half bring to us on NEFL TV as the umpire? Darcy Cameron and Oscar McInerney in the ruck to kick off the second half. Clay Beams into the back was Ben Wrong, gives away the free kick, and Clay Beams will take the free. And that's 50 metres as well to Ben Wrong. A bit of ill-discipline there. Just infringing on the play and not letting the Lions get possession of the ball quick enough. This will take Clay Beams to within scoring range. There's a bit of a scuffle off the ball. Nothing too serious. So Beams has been marched to within 40 metres directly in front, and this will be the start that the Lions need after missing a few opportunities in the first half. They controlled the bulk of the play but are trailing on the scoreboard. And this is Beams, the premiership captain from last season in the grand final rematch from 45 metres out, and he's kicked that truly. And his teammates get around him. That's a perfect start to the second half within 30 seconds for the Lions, and they've got the first goal on the board and have crawled to within a point here at Moreton Bay Sports Complex.
The arm wrestle continues. It just keeps ebbing and flowing, this game. Sydney with their chances and the Lions taking their first chance of this third term to bring them back to within a point.
We'll just mention for our viewers on NEFL TV, it looks like James Bell is out of the game due to what we think is a knee or hamstring injury, and they've already lost Dan Robinson before the game. So Swans down to 13 listed with 4 on the bench, take on the Lions with 17 listed and a full bench.
So Darcy Cameron extracts the ball beautifully for Sydney, gives it back to Ben Ronke, he kicks it to centre half forward. Punched away there was Johnson. Nicely roved. Brisbane defence moving nicely with Ben Keys. Handball now to Clay Beams. He's going to chip the pass there to Corey Lyons, who has time to drop it, recover, give the handball back to Keys. Inside 50 over the head there of Ballenden. Had his jumper grabbed and could have copped a free kick. Nothing doing. Ballenden loses his footing though. Harry Marsh doesn't. He steadies. Kicks a wobbler towards McCartan. Controlled it beautifully. Got the handball away. I like this kid. Second game of NEFL. What a ripper. Down the boundary line, Lions with numbers, Cedric Cox, and there's a high tackle there. That will go to Luke Scrivenik, just in front of the Sydney Swans bench.
The 19-year-old academy member for the Swans just goes long down the wing. A pack forms. Cameron with the sit, couldn't take the mark. McInerney on his hands and knees, handballs off to Keys, short kick inboard. No mark, wasn't probably 15 anyway. Keys, second effort to the wing. McInerney couldn't mark. Cox at ground level. He just runs, puts on the skates, has a bounce, runs inboard, handballs to Lester. He handballs to Beams, inside 50 for 2 in a row to the Brisbane Lions. And that's Beams' second. And suddenly Brisbane hit the front by 5 points, and we play 3 minutes in this third term.
Love the move by Cedric Cox. We've said it before, when he just has those silky elements in the way. It's a big call, like a Sean Burgoyne. He is a silky player. Once he actually decided to take off and take on the midfielders from Sydney, he blew them away and redirected the ball down the corridor for Brisbane. Well done by Cedric Cox to set that whole play up, and well done by Clay Beams to actually finish it off with that great finish. So the Lions now, they've hit the lead. 5 points, 9 goals 5 to 7 goals 12. So 14 scoring shots, plays 19, and they've taken the lead. Sydney continuing their inaccuracy from last week as Cameron versus McInerney. McInerney wins this one. Leicester, handball to Lions. Lions inside 50, looking for Beams. Well done to O'Riordan. Beams gets back involved, but O'Riordan butlers up, gives it to Harry Marsh. Beams gets involved again, smothers the ball. McInerney toes it inside 50, looking for McStay. Good fist away. Sydney defence working overtime. Bell gets it to his foot. Lester. Now it's back to Ballenden. Ballenden leans back and bang. It's another goal for the Brisbane Lions. 3 on the trot to start this third quarter. 65 plays 54. 10-5, 65 to 7-12, 54.
Yes, they must have got an old-fashioned spray by the coach Mitch Hahn at half-time. This is the different Brisbane Lions outfit that we've seen to start this second half. The confidence, the free-flowing play, the hard contested ball work by their midfielders. It's all coming together at the moment, and they're starting to play to their best, and the Swans are a bit stunned.
Well, back into the corridor. When they're moving the ball back into the corridor, going long and direct, it seems to be working for them. Well, it has with the last 3 goals coming in the first 4 minutes of the third term.
So 3 goals in 4 minutes for the Lions to start the second half. How can the Swans respond? It's Amadi against McInerney in the ruck, but straight down to Bell, who wobbles one inside forward 50 along the ground. Hard one to pick up there. McStay does his best, but the Swans will win out through Fox. He's tackled by Starcevic. Bell again at ground level. Still a chance for the Lions. Beeves now goes backwards to Bastanak, and he has a shot from 4 to go right to the line, and that's over. That's another goal. 4 in a row to the Lions. Great work there. Great forward pressure by the Lions to create that opportunity on goal.